Welcome to the Traveling Professors. I'm Professor Bob.
And I'm Professor Sheri.
And together we are the Traveling Professors.
A lot of viewers have asked us, where did we stay when we were in Luxor? So today, Sheri and I are going to give you a tour of our home base, the Hotel Sonesta St. George in Luxor.
Sheri and I have been taking you to a lot of museums lately, so we thought we'd make a little change of pace and show you another one of the hotels that we stayed at while we were on our various travels. Now, when we went to Egypt, it was in January of 2019. We were there from the 7th until the 17th and then flew back. So we were in Cairo and then in Luxor for about 5 or 6 days and then back to Cairo to finish up before heading back home. So when we flew into Luxor, we were surprised to some extent that I had trouble getting seats on the plane. I had to get business class. And so the plane was full. So we go all the way down to Luxor and then realize the problem. It's Christmas Eve, according to the Coptic Christian calendar. Sheri and I were Orthodox Christians, so we were familiar with the different calendars that some use. So we were flying down on Christmas Eve, and that was quite interesting. So anyway, we get out at the airport, and the only thing that went wrong on the whole section is I had paid for someone to come and pick us up at the airport. Well, they didn't show up. So we just took a regular taxi. Wasn't any big deal. It was a gentleman that periodically we would use when we didn't have one of our guides with us, and he ultimately took us back to the airport when it was over and done with. So I told him where we were going, and it's the Sonesta St. George Hotel, which happens to be the tallest modern building in Luxor, as well as the largest hotel. So we're going to take a little tour of the inside and the outside and some of the benefits of staying at this hotel. Here we are driving up to the Sonesta St. George. You can see how large it is. Now, we were supposed to have one of these rooms here on the side, what is known as a side view of the Nile. So we pull up in front, and of course one of the things that people are always concerned or were concerned about when we went to Egypt was, did you feel safe? Well, you come in here, and this is a picture of one of the two guard turrets on either side of the entrance. Now, I did not take pictures of all of their security, but needless to say, they had plenty of security. And here is the main entryway. And when you went into the main building, you had to go through basically the same kind of security that you do in the airport. So you had to have your bags x-rayed, and they kind of checked you over and wanded you down. Although we were there in and out long enough that they just kind of waved us on, but I still went through the process anyway. And then this is a view looking into the entrance once you're on the inside of the hotel. So it was very secure, to say the very least. So now it's time to, of course, register, check in. So here is the main counter where you can do all sorts of things. They have a concierge if you need anything. And we had pretty much tours all set, and they would just meet us here in the lobby. So we go up to the counter and check in, and the lady says, would you like an upgrade? And we go, well, of course. So originally we had that side view of the Nile, which was $72 a night, including breakfast. Well, we had the opportunity to get the balcony room, which overlooked the Nile, for $92. Needless to say, that was a very easy choice. But here's a view of the rest of the lobby. Now, I want you to look at this, that we have Christmas decorations everywhere. They had a tree. They had Rudolph. Here's Santa Claus. We had Santa Claus actually all over Egypt. It wasn't just Luxor. All of Egypt celebrates Coptic Christmas. But you don't see any Jesus. You'll see some stars sometimes. You'll see the trees. You'll see lots of Santa Clauses. And they love to put a saxophone in its mouth. And then here is the rest of the lobby. It's a very large lobby. And I will tell you also that down from the lobby, they have their own shopping center. They have very small shops. They have a couple of souvenir shops. They have jewelry shops. You don't really need to go to the bazaar if you don't want to. They were very well priced. And they also have most of their restaurants on this level. They had an Italian restaurant. They had a Japanese restaurant. Then in the basement, they had where you did your buffet breakfast. They also did an evening buffet of all sorts of different foods, which was, I think it was like $15 a person for all you could eat. It was incredibly reasonable. And then we decided it's time to go up to our room. So here is the elevators that take us up to our room. We're on the 3rd floor. We were in, as you can see, room 301 by the Nile barge. And it's just pretty much standard hotel room. There was quite a bit of room. Here's the entryway with a couple of the chairs, plenty of places to put your clothing. There's the dresser, the television. We hardly ever watch TV when we're out, even just to watch commercials. There's Sheri taking a picture in the mirror, and then here's looking out to where the bed is. It was a queen-size bed, and there's the balcony, which I'll get to a little bit later on. And this is very comfortable. By the way, this time of the year in January, the high was like 72 and the lows would get in the lower 60s. Magnificent time to go. It's considered shoulder season. It's not high season. It's not low season, but it was pretty good. And then here's a little closer view of the bed, and the bathroom was just spectacular. Just pretty much the standard modern bathroom that you would find in any European or American hotel. So let's get ready to go and take a look at that balcony. There's the balcony there as we head towards it. It's not a gigantic balcony. It's big enough for 2 chairs, and put a little table out there. It's pretty nice. And then this is looking down from the balcony. There's a very nice pool. Lots of places spread out. They have a little barge where you can have lunch. They have a spa in this hotel. As a matter of fact, Sheri was addicted to the spa. Full body massage and stuff for an hour and a half, or I think it was $70. She did it practically every day. Now, I want to show you something here. The back of this hotel, if you go down over this direction where this path is, that's the access to the dock. They have a dock there that the water taxis come up to. So you can take water taxis to different parts of the city. And as we did in one of our tours, the gentleman who took us to the Valley of the Kings, he actually picked us up here in a boat and took us to the other side, where we then got into a car and went to the Valley of the Kings, and then we came back by boat. So going over the Nile that direction was really cool. And I would also point out, for those of you still concerned about security, they had armed guards down there, so you didn't have to worry about a felucca full of crazies coming in there and storming the place. Okay, I've teased you enough about the view. So here is the view that we had from the balcony. This is looking to the south. So this area over in here, it's obviously the Nile. This is where the Banana Island is, where we would go on one of our trips with a felucca. Then here we are directly in front. Now we're moving to the north, and then you can see the Valley of the Kings in the background over here. And then here you see bridges way over here, and then of course some of the feluccas, which were going back and forth all the time. When we weren't out somewhere and we were just resting, we just loved to sit here and take the breeze. One day, one of the cruise ships went by heading towards Aswan. And then here is a sunrise over the Valley of the Kings from our balcony. And then here it is, just about the time for us to go down and get into our boat to go to visit King Tut, who had just recently been restored to his tomb. So he was there ready and waiting for us. Now here's the buffet area. In the morning every day we went down here and had breakfast. And a couple of times we had dinner down here. Sheri and I both like the Italian restaurant. And the service is just wonderful. All the people in the hotel were really, really wonderful. And whatever you needed, they could help you with. If you needed to go anywhere, there was plenty of transportation. Now, there wasn't a subway or anything like that, but we were really only about 4 blocks from the Luxor temple and the harbor area. But you could go out in front of our hotel and they would have the carriages that were very popular. You could get regular taxis, and you could go by boat. Now when we went to visit King Tut, this is the ramp where we went down and the boat came by. You had to go by security. So you came down from the hotel, and then you went down here and waited for your boat, and then it would come in and pick you up. And then we headed off to the other side of the river, heading towards this Valley of the King area, where we would then get off the boat and go into a van. And then we came back the same way. So here's the view of our hotel as we're heading back to finish up our day. Now, there weren't a lot of people at the hotel on the day that we went to King Tut. So when we came back, we decided that we would have lunch in the Egyptian barge that they have. So here's the view of the barge from the balcony of our hotel room, and then here we are on the barge, pictures being taken by our server. So we simply sat down and put a table in front of us. We ordered our food and just sat there and relaxed and had a nice time. And there's one where she took it with the hotel in our background. Then our room is right here. The one drawback to having a balcony view is you can take a million pictures because everything changes all the time. So here's a set of pictures from the sunset as the sun is gradually going down. So there's the Valley of the Kings, and then here's a bunch of the falakas out on the river. By the way, the Nile is about 6 or 7 feet deep at its deepest here. And then here we see the sun slowly setting over the horizon, and then finally as it sets. So that's just stunning. Sheri and I would certainly suggest to you that don't just come down to take a cruise and spend like 4 hours on one side of the Nile and 4 hours on the other. Come in, stay 3 or 4 days in Luxor and go out to see the different temples bit by bit and relax, and then take your cruise. We haven't done the cruise. That's something that we're looking forward to doing at some point.
Sheri and I hope you enjoyed the tour. Please come by our YouTube channel at Bob Packett, and please subscribe and leave some comments. Thank you very much. I've been doing podcasting on history for over 15 years. I've got over 4,000 shows, and I've done CDs, which of course can be sent out as USBs. So if you would really like to get more on history for free, then come by my website, as you see here, historyaccordingtobob.com, and see what's there. So thank you very much again.